Yo, what's good, peeps? We're going to quickly run through the Xbox Live Gold free games for July 2023 versus the PS Plus lineup, so make sure you keep it locked. As we start over the Microsoft side of the fence, available for the whole month is Darkwood, which is normally priced at $14.99. Roam by day, survive by night. Darkwood is basically a different type of survival horror game that builds tension through slow burn atmosphere without relying on jump scares. While the sun is out, explore an open world of corrupted woods to scavenge weapons and materials. But once the sun dips, you'll need to hole up surrounded by whatever traps and barriers you can build and pray you can hide from or fight the creatures that emerges in the dark. Honestly speaking, as someone who's not super into horror games, this game has probably never been on my radar, so I'm not super familiar with this particular title, but just from doing a bit of Google and some research online since its announcement for the Games with Gold for July 2023, the reviews seem to be pretty decent, so this is definitely a game worth considering downloading. Available from July 16th all the way to August 15th is When the Past Was Around, which is normally priced at $8.49. Discover the touching and bittersweet love story of Eda and Owl. Unlock the puzzles in a beautiful rendered point-and-click adventure with hand-drawn art and a magical score that will stick with you for days. Now, yet again, this is a game that I'm not super familiar with, but I did do a lot of research on this one, and the reviews definitely seem very high, and I absolutely love the art style from looking at the trailers. It's definitely a game that has certainly piqued my interest, so one that I'm certainly looking forward to downloading and testing out in the coming days.
Old, slim and blonde with blue eyes. She may be lost in the woods and is...
Moving over to the PlayStation side of the fence, and it is worth establishing that all the PlayStation Essential subscribers will be able to download these particular titles from July 4th all the way to the 31st of July. First up, we've got Alan Wake Remaster, which will be available for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. In this game, you get a chance to return to the mysterious town of Bright Falls in this remaster of the award-winning cinematic action game from Remedy Entertainment, featuring overhauled visuals and new features. I remember being blown away by playing this particular game on the Xbox 360 so many years ago and was so delighted when they did remaster this game. And this is definitely a game that if you've never had the opportunity to play it before, this is an awesome title, well worth downloading in my humble opinion.
Just the way it was on that page. It'll come back for me. There's something special.
Next on the list is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Cross-Gen Bundle, which is available for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War drops fans into the depth of the Cold War's volatile geopolitical battle of the early 1980s. Come face to face with historical figures and hard truths as you battle around the globe in iconic locales like East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, Soviet KGB headquarters, plus many more. This is definitely a game that did release back in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, so probably around 3 years old at this point, but definitely still a really cool Call of Duty game. I'm sure Call of Duty fans have already obviously rinsed this game repeatedly, but for those who never had the opportunity to pick this game up, definitely still worth downloading.
Let's go find this shithead.
Next on the list is Extinction is Forever, where you do get access to both the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 version. In this game, you get a chance to explore various 3D side-scrolling areas and defend your tiny furballs, feed them, watch them grow up, notice their unique personalities and fears, and most importantly, help them to survive. This is a game that I'm not super familiar with, definitely one that definitely is a surprise to me, but at the same time, on the surface, looks like a pretty decent game, depending on how you perceive it, and certainly one I guess well worth adding to the library. Whether you play it on day one or not, I guess is up to you, but this certainly is a game that I personally will be adding to my library. $1,000,000 question, who comes out the strongest? Keeping it real, I think both lineups, you could take it either way. I would say that this is probably a very close matchup in terms of games available. Whilst I do love the fact that Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is added, and even the Alan Wake Remastered are two solid games, I do think the two offerings coming from the Xbox side of the fence, even though I'm not super familiar with them, but from what I've been reading online, also seems to be very two good, surprising games. So I would probably say that, depending on how you perceive it, this probably could be considered a draw month in terms of who has the better lineup. Obviously, on the surface, I guess with the more familiar games, you could say that the PlayStation Plus Essential lineup is certainly one where there is a lot more familiarities between that list and the Xbox side of the fence. But at the same time, sometimes it's good to kind of get some pleasant surprises, and I do feel like that's what Microsoft is aiming to do with their games of gold. Even though the lineup has been questionable over the last few months, I will say that sometimes some of those questionable games have been a pleasant surprise. Anyway, peeps, there you have it, a very, very fast and rapid run through of the games of gold and also the PlayStation Plus lineup for the month of July 2023. Do let me know which side of the fence you feel has the strongest lineup, and also any games in particular in the lineups that have stood out to you the most. As always, if you did enjoy this very quick urban gameplay video, be sure to hit the like button. Do hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so before. And until next video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Oh, hell. It happened. Just the way it was on that page. It'll come back for me. There's something special about this place.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.
Come true.